Hello, Year 6. Okay, today we're going to do the lesson 6, which is week 3 in history, and we're going to look at comparing Australian system of government with that of the United Kingdom or the UK and America, which is the USA. So we're going to look about whether Australia is a copycat. Did we copy America and England to form our own government? Well, that's what we're going to find out. So today we're going to have a quick discussion about the Australian government and how it was formed. We're going to look at how our government is set up. And then we're going to write a paragraph. Well, in this case, you're going to be writing it, okay, about the influences of the UK and the USA on our system. So how America and Britain influenced the way our government is set up. So this is a huge word here, okay? We've got a constitution. All right, what is a constitution? Now, a constitution is basically the rules for how the government should be run, okay? And it is in like a big book, just like this one over here. Okay, it's a huge book for the Australian Constitution, and it has rules in it for how the government has to be run. And it describes how our laws are made. So if you want to make a new law, you need to go to the Constitution to find out. Okay, so it's a document. In this case, it's like a book that is available to everyone. And it's all online now, so you can actually get the Constitution off the internet. Okay, but it shows us how our government has been, how it's run, and how our laws are made. So we need to refer to the Constitution the government needs to refer to the Constitution if they're going to make up new laws or if they're going to change the way something is run in the government. So how did Australia develop this Constitution? And when was it developed? Okay, so as you know, Federation happened in 1901, and that was when we got our own system of government. So the Constitution had to be done before that time because we couldn't just go and have a government that was running itself. They needed to have rules to go by. So the Constitution was formed in those years leading up to 1901 when Federation occurred. So between 1898 and 1901. Now, by who? Who did it? Okay, this is when a representative from each of the colonies was sent to the Canara Conference, and they were working out for a long time, several years, how the government should be run. So it was those representatives from the colonies and several other people in power at the time who got together to write our Constitution. How can the Constitution be changed? The only way it can be changed is if they ask the people of Australia. People of Australia will take a vote, which is called a referendum. And that is the only way that our Constitution can be changed. So the people in government themselves just can't go and change our Constitution. Okay? So we call this, because the people in our country in Australia, we have a say about who runs our country, so who is our Prime Minister, who is our Premier, we call that a democratic society. Okay, democratic. So that's huge. That's what, big word there. That's what that means, democratic. All right. So that just means that the people of Australia have a say in how our country is run and by who it is run by. So that's why Mum and Dad will go to the polls every now and then and they'll vote for the Prime Minister or the Premier of their state. The Prime Minister is the head of the country. So democratic means that the people will have their say about who runs their country and how it is run. Okay, so these are some people that you might actually recognise. The Queen here, Queen Elizabeth II. Okay, she is the head of our government. She is the head monarch. Okay, Queen Elizabeth II. And she is the head of our government overall. She sits in England, but she doesn't sit in Australia. She needs somebody to overlook what's happening here in Australia to make sure it's all run the right way. And that's where this man down here comes in. Okay. Now his name is Peter Cosgrove. All right. Peter Cosgrove. Now he is our Governor General. All right. I'm going to type that in a minute. Here we go. Okay. He is our Governor General. So he sits in Australia and he oversees what's happening in the government to make sure that everything is run properly. He is the Queen's representative in Australia. Okay, so he is basically like the Queen, but in Australia. And this man over here, who you might recognise from the news if you've been watching it, okay, is Tony Abbott, our Prime Minister. He is the head of our country. Okay. I'll put that in there. Prime Minister Tony Abbott. And he is, his party, the Liberal Party, okay, they are in power with our federal government at the moment, our country's government, and he is the head of that party. So he is our Prime Minister, Tony Abbott. All right. So in Australia, as we were just saying, we have 3 levels of government. Our top level is our federal, and that's what we were talking about for our whole country, and that is Tony Abbott. Okay, he is the leader of the federal government. Leader is Tony Abbott. All right. Level 2, the next one down, is our state government. So that is for Queensland. Okay, for us anyway. Okay, it's our state government. And the head of that government, not Campbell Newman anymore, is it? It's Labor. Anna Palaszczuk, I think Palaszczuk is the head of that, and that is our Premier. And then you have your local government. That's the next one down. Okay, and your local government and your head of your local government is usually your mayor. Okay, and they're classed as the mayor. So you have 3 levels of government in Australia. You have the top level, which is federal, for the whole country. A state level, such as Queensland, is our Premier is the head. And our last level is our local government. And that's the mayor is the head of those governments. All right. Next, we have 2 houses of parliament. Okay, 2 houses of parliament, and this is interesting because this is, if you can see the pictures here, this is what the houses of parliament look like down in Canberra, and you can see they're set up quite in a similar way. But there's a difference that's very easy to tell, and it's the colour. Okay, you can actually see the colours are different. Now it is the green one at the top here that's classed as our House of Representatives. All right. And down here we have what we call in the red, in the red part, it's not going to do it for me. Okay, here we go. No, it's not going to, I might have to type it down here, House of the Senate. Let's see if I can move it up. There it is. Okay. So the red is the House of Senate and the green is the House of Representatives. It's the House of Representatives where up here is the green part that you'll mainly see on the news. Now, if a law is going to change, it has to go through both the House of Representatives and the House of Senate. It can't just go through one, it has to go through both. Now, it's the green one up the top there, the House of Representatives, where people like Tony Abbott sit. Okay, the head of our government. It is here where we usually have the Liberal Party, okay, and the Labor Party in Australia, 2 separate political parties, and whoever holds the most power, they are the ones who are leading and the boss of the House of Representatives at the time. And so there's our 2 houses of Parliament, House of Representatives and House of Senate. Okay, so let's just have a quick recap over what we've talked about then, because there's a lot to take in. The Constitution is like a book, okay? It's a document. It's available to everyone. It says how the government should be run. It's the rules for how government should be run. It describes how our laws are made. All right. Who developed it? We had representatives from each of the colonies come together and write up our constitution. That's so it was fair for everybody in Australia. How can it be changed? Only through a vote by the people of Australia. Okay, we call that a referendum. Now, we are lucky in this country. We are a democratic society, which means the people have a say in who runs our country. In some countries, that doesn't happen. Okay. And who are these people again? Queen Elizabeth II. She is our head monarch. She is the head of our government. But she can't be everywhere at once. So she has Peter Cosgrove is our Governor General, and he is the Queen's representative in Australia. And then we have Tony Abbott, who is the head of our country, our Prime Minister, and he is the head of the federal government for our country. Okay. We have 3 levels of government. Federal is our top, that's the whole country. State, as in Queensland, and then local. And we have 2 houses of parliament, the House of Representatives and the House of Senate. And if a law is going to be changed, it has to go through both the House of Representatives and the House of Senate. Okay, so you can go and get sheet 8 out. All right, and we're going to look about, actually, yeah, okay, that's okay. You can go and grab sheet 8, and we're going to look at how the United Kingdom, okay, the UK and USA have influenced the type of government that we have. Okay, so grab sheet 8 and grab a green pencil and a red pencil. So with your green pencil, if the box here is yes, Australia got that idea from that particular country, we're going to do a big green tick. Okay, just like this one up here. If nope, that's not what the same system of government we use, okay, then we're going to put a red cross through the box. You don't have to go and cut it all out. Okay, so that's not necessary. So what I'm going to do is just go and take a little snip, okay, of this little green tick. All right. Okay, so let's see. Let's start at this first one. So let's see if Australia got the idea, okay, for its government from Great Britain. Let's read this one together. It says, a monarch, a king or a queen is the head of state, and there is also a parliament. So yes, okay, Australia has got a monarch as the head of our parliament, which is, of course, head of state, which is, of course, the Queen. And we have a parliament here in Australia. Okay. What about this one here, our republic, United States? The head of state is not a monarch. The head of state is the president. That doesn't sound like us. Okay, so no, we are not. That is not us. We are going to put a cross through that. Let's go near. And I can grab. It'll be a lot quicker for you to go and put yours in than mine because my colour takes me a lot longer. And I'll make it really big. There we go. Okay. Okay, let's look at the next one across. The leader of the party with the most members in the House of Commons forms the government and becomes the Prime Minister. Now, we don't have the House of Commons. We have the House of Representatives. Okay, and the people with the most power in the House of Representatives forms the government and becomes our Prime Minister. So this one's almost half-half, isn't it? I'm going to say yes on that one. Okay, our next one. The President is the head of state and the head of government. The President is elected by the people. Well, our Prime Minister? Is he the head of state and the head of government? No, don't forget we have a Queen. Okay, so he is not the head of state and he is not, therefore this is not the same. And, oh, let me move my cross over here. All right. Okay, let's go down to our next line down here. There are two houses called the House of Commons and House of Lords. Do we have the House of Commons and House of Lords? We have two houses, but they're definitely not called House of Commons and House of Lords. So, no, okay. We did not steal that idea from Great Britain, but on our next one, there are two houses called the House of Representatives and the House of Senate. Yes, we did steal that idea from the USA. We have the House of Representatives and the House of Senate. Our next one. In Great Britain, they have two levels of government, the national and the local. Do we have two levels of government? No, we have three. So, this one is a no. We did not take that idea from Great Britain. For United States, they have three levels of government, national, state, and local. And yes, we do have three levels of government, so that would be correct there. Now, next one down, when it comes to laws, bills must be passed by both houses if they are to become law. True or false? Did it need to go through both the House of Representatives and the House of Senate for it to become a law? Yes. Okay, so that one we stole from Great Britain. Next one, bills must be passed by both houses if they are to become a law. So America has exactly the same system. The USA has the same system. So yes for that one. Okay, looking at our Constitution. Constitution is not written in a single document, but it is formed from laws, treaties, and other sources. That's Great Britain. America says there is a written constitution which sets out the powers of the federal government. So which one do you think is right? Is it in one document that sets out the powers and the rules for the government? Or is it a group of documents? In this case, it is not a group of documents, but yes, it is one document that outlines the rules for the federal government. Okay, so when you finish marking those with the ticks or crosses, we're going to move on to the last thing we need to do for this lesson. There we go, and that is to write a paragraph explaining how the Australian system of law and government was influenced by Britain and America. Okay, so to do that we need our topic sentence. We always start our paragraphs with our topic sentence. And to get our topic sentence, we just need to look to the question. Because your topic sentence is going to tell somebody what your paragraph is about. So our paragraph is going to be about explaining how Australian system of law and government was influenced by British and American systems. So we can pretty much add that in. Write that exact sentence. The Australian system of law and government was influenced by the British and American systems. And there's a topic sentence, and as you can see that is pretty much exactly the same as our question. So that's where I've got my topic sentence from. Right there. So next we just need to explain very briefly what the Australian system of government is. So we can start that by saying the Australian system of government is made up of. Now this is where you will explain what the Australian system of government is made up of. So you can talk about how there are 3 levels of government, and our head of state is the Queen, that we have the House of Representatives and the House of Senate, and that if laws are going to be passed, they need to go through both those houses. So you need to put that into that part of your paragraph. So you can pause the video and do that. Your next part is we'll be talking about how the British system influenced us. Now to do that, go back to sheet 8 and look at where the green ticks are, and are there any there that have Great Britain written on it? Okay, you can see Great Britain there. And if any have Great Britain and a tick, that's the information you need to write your next part. So we can say Australia was influenced by the British government, British system of government, we have a head of state. Okay, and then you can continue. You need to use this sheet here, sheet 8. Look for the words Great Britain. Look for the green ticks, not the red crosses, the green ticks. And if there's a green tick and it says Great Britain, this is the information that you can write just here into your paragraph. Okay, and let's do exactly the same for the USA. So when you finish that part, you can write Australia was influenced by the American system of government as we have. Okay. Look back to your sheet. Go and find where you've got United States and a green tick next to it. Okay. So here's one. We have 2 houses, House of Representatives and House of Senate. Okay, so you would be writing Australia was influenced by the American system of government as we have 2 houses of Parliament, the House of Representatives and the House of Senate. There's one example. And to finish it up, we are going to write our concluding sentence. Our concluding sentence is as simple as saying Australia was influenced by both the UK and the USA to create a system of government. I'll put that in for you. It's just summing up what we have to say. Australia used both the UK and the USA system of government to create its own. The end. So that would be your concluding sentence. Okay. See how you go. Keep referring back to this sheet here to help you write your paragraph. Okay. Good luck. Bye.